Welcome to newspaper analysis session. Today, June 21st. Today, topics that we are going to cover today are important things that we are going to cover today. We are going to discuss about the small satellite launch vehicle, one of the important topic of your science and technology. Here, we will also discuss about the poem. What is this poem? And similar such kind of experiment is going to be done using the small satellite launching vehicle, SSLV, then which is called SMILE. We will try to discuss about these things. And all these things which are mentioned here, not just the small satellite launching vehicle, the New Space India Limited, InSpace, all these are very, very important for your prelims. So we will try to cover these things and we will try to revise what has been done by the core sector. Again, we have discussed in the previous month also, we have discussed about the core sector. So what are the various industries that are present in the core sector, why is this relevant and all, we will try to go through and we will try to revise the core sector. And then very important concept for today is important import dependence on the vegetable oils as well as the pulses. It is significantly rising. So we will try to look at the significance of the pulses, cropping pattern of the pulses and various important things related to the pulses. So very, very important thing. Apart from this, we will also look into the this issue of euthanasia. UK lawmakers approve a bill to allow terminally ill people to end their lives. So we will try to see this is concept of euthanasia. So we will try to understand all these concepts in detail. So stay tuned. So the first important concept. So currently we have already discussed ISRO will launch satellites into the various orbits of the Earth. As you move above the Earth's surface in the space, you have different heights. This we have discussed. Let's say this is the surface of the Earth. This is the surface of Earth. Above the Earth's surface, you have different layers. Let's consider these layers. Low Earth orbit up to 1000 kilometers. Middle Earth orbit, this is up to 20,000 kilometers and 36,000 kilometers. GEO or higher Earth orbit. And we place different satellites at different heights above the Earth's surface for various purposes. We have already discussed this thing. So we place satellite here for the proper observation of the Earth's surface so that we get clarity on the resources, movement of the people and everything. This is for the resource management purpose. These satellites that are placed here are called the Earth observation satellites. Earth observation satellites. Generally, the satellites you place here are the communication satellites. And the satellites generally you place here are basically used for the navigation. We use in the GPS. Currently, how do you get the information, your location and all? So, various satellites are present here and they are not just tracking your mobile device location, the signals that are coming from your mobile device. Okay, they track and they will tell you where the place you have to reach and all. So, those kind of navigation satellites are placed in the middle Earth orbit. This basic understanding is very, very important. These are the three important orbits we have in the space above the surface of the Earth. Low Earth orbit just for the Earth observation. Higher Earth orbit for the communication purpose. Middle Earth orbit for the navigation purpose in the general thing. Now, how do you place the satellites? We need rockets. So, we use the rocket launching things to launch our satellites. We use different types of the rockets. Polar satellite launching vehicle we have, geosynchronous satellite launching vehicle we have. Okay, so we have different types of the launcher satellite launching vehicles. In this, the famous one is the PSLV. These launching vehicles are used to launch the satellites for the lower Earth orbit and the middle Earth orbits. If you have to launch the heavier satellites into the higher Earth orbit, generally we use the GSLV. Okay, so we can launch up to the 5,000 tons of heavy weight into the higher Earth orbit. Okay. So, see, I was talking about we use this way. We use rockets. PSLV, GSLV. These are the currently two most important rockets we have. See here, these are the various fuels you have generally. If it is PSLV, you have the solid stage fuel, liquid stage fuel, again solid stage fuel and the liquid stage fuel. You have different levels of the fuels in your rockets, and then here you will have the payload, whatever the satellites generally you have to do. Okay, in this way rockets will be launched. Primarily we use the PSLV for the lower Earth orbit and GSLV for the higher Earth orbit, all the heavier things. GSLV is basically three stage rocket, means solid, liquid and the cryogenic stage is there. Okay, three stage fuel. So now this is the basic idea. What happens is these are all satellites which these are all rockets which generally place heavier satellites into the orbit. Even the PSLV can place up to 1000 kgs in the orbit. So what if you have to place some smaller satellites, 100 kgs or few hundred grams, okay, 500 kgs or any satellite of lesser weight, any payload of the lesser weight. You cannot use this thing for the launching up of the satellites. So we need small satellite launching vehicles, because once you use these rockets, you cannot bring back them. This is not like your aeroplanes where you place them and you can bring them back and then reuse them. These are not the reusable launching vehicles. Once you use the rocket, then it is gone. Boom. Okay. So that's why we are developing these reusable launching vehicles. That way we are doing, and currently we want small satellite launching vehicles for the lesser heavy weights. We don't want to use such a bigger vehicle because it involves a lot of cost. So in order to develop this SSLV, we have gone for the bidding. ISRO has gone for the bidding and HAL has won the bidding. Now technology transfer will be done. So ISRO is our research wing. ISRO is our research wing. Now this research wing will transfer technology to the HAL. Now they will develop the small satellite launching vehicles. Is this clear? This is the news. But for this you to understand, you need to understand, you should have understood what this rocket launching vehicles are, what are these orbits and all. So I hope now this is clear. Okay. So let's understand one more thing. So ISRO has various wings also here. So we need to understand various things. Now ISRO alone will not go and discuss all these things. Okay. So ISRO has another wing called the New Space India Limited. This is a commercial arm of the Indian Space Organization. If there is an institution, if you have to deal with, now if you come to the class, if you have to talk to the teacher, you will go to the different place. If you have to know about the course related details, you will go to the different person. If you have to understand mentorship and all, then you will reach out to different person, right? In the same way, ISRO as an institution, if you have to deal about the commercial aspects, doing some kind of business and all, there is a commercial arm, commercial wing of the ISRO. That is called the New Space India Limited. This is a commercial wing. Its responsibility is for promoting the commercial, exploiting the products. In this way, to deal with the projects, to do some kind of business deals. Okay, there is a commercial wing within the ISRO that is called the New Space India Limited. It is not a statutory body. It is wholly owned by the Government of India and it is incorporated through the Companies Act, a private company, a subsidiary of the ISRO. Clear, very important for the prelims. In the same way, another regulatory body we have that is called the InSpace. This is a kind of regulatory body. This is not the commercial arm for the discussion of the commercial projects and all. This is a regulatory body. It is an autonomous agency under the Department of the Space. It regulates, because now private players are also participating. Till now, so far, only ISRO used to send the rockets. Now, even the private players can also send the rockets, like say Hindustan, HAL. So in the future, some other private player might develop. Just like we have the SpaceX. In India also, we can come up with such a kind of projects. So it has to be properly monitored. It has to be properly regulated if they are doing right things or not. Okay, that's why we need to have the regulatory body, and that regulatory body is the InSpace. They will ask, very, very important, InSpace thing. This is about the small satellite launching vehicle. So this is the 500 kgs to the low Earth orbit. Now you will not get confused, right? SSLV to the 500 kgs. Okay, now what is this poem and what is the smile? I told you here. So here I told you, this is how the payload is. Here you have the satellite. This is a rocket, and finally, so while the rocket is flying up, slowly this part will get separated from the rocket. Later this part. Finally this part will be placed in the orbit, and entire rocket will get dismantled and they get separated and it will burn off in the Earth's atmosphere. Now, why to waste such a huge rocket? So, in the last PLSV mission, Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle mission, that is a C60 mission. Okay, in the 60th mission, what they did is, they have used the final stage, they have placed some kind of experimental things at this final stage, and they kept this thing in the space for some amount of time. And they have conducted some experiments. Anyway, that is going to get lost. Okay, they have placed some other things in this along with this thing, and they have conducted some kind of experiments in the space. Later on, they used some kind of technology. They have brought back again into the atmosphere, and they were finally disposed of safely without causing any kind of debris in the space. So this is what the experiment they have done. In the same way, using the small satellite launching vehicle, they want to conduct the SMILE related experiment in the lower Earth orbit. This was done in the higher Earth orbit. Now they want to do in the lower Earth orbit using the SSLV. Previously they have done with the PSLV. So if in the question prelims, they may ask POEM and the SMILE. You should not get confused. Okay, so they have used effectively the final stage of the rocket to conduct the experiments. Very, very important. Are we clear? So next, this was the editorial they were talking about. See, so Kamal Hassan was promoting his movie. While doing the promotions, he said Kannada came out of the Tamil language. So it got controversial, and they have banned this movie in the Karnataka. So now, quote questions: how can this be banned? The movie, if the movie gets the CBFC certificate, CBFC will provide the certificate U by A, adult certificate, 3 certifications they provide. Okay, if that has passed the certification without any kind of censor and all, so they has to be allowed to go in the movie. The extrajudicial restriction should not be imposed. If he has said anything, if it has hurt the sentiments, okay, that is different thing. But how can the people can impose the restrictions on the movie? That cannot be done. There is a CBFC, Independent Regulatory Body, Central Board of Film Certification, under the Cinematography Act 1952. This is the body which gives certifications for the movies, whether the movie should be allowed to play or not. What kind of certification? Can children watch that, or should they watch under the adult guidance, or is it an adult movie? This is what the board will decide. Once the board gives the judgment, then there should not be any kind of restrictions. But even after this thing, Karnataka has restricted the movie in the Karnataka. So this should not happen. We cannot impose such kind of freedom of speech and expressions in the state. This is what the editorial talks about. So you need to be aware there is this act. We have already previously discussed this thing about the CBFC. We have discussed about the Cinematography Act. So you need to have the clarity about the Cinematography Act and how the freedom of speech and expression is strengthened. Okay, currently how the restrictions can be imposed on the freedom of speech and expression, we have already discussed. Only reasonable restrictions. And I have already previously mentioned the reasonable restrictions are nowhere defined in the Constitution. They are decided case to case basis. So as per the Article 19, you have freedom of speech and expression. Article 19, Clause 1. Under the Article 19, Clause 2, there are reasonable restrictions like sovereignty of India, okay, defamation, friendly relationships with the state. Okay, like this, there are certain restrictions are mentioned, and these are not properly defined. Only when these things are violated, your freedom of speech and expressions will be restricted. Until unless there is no such violation, there should not be any kind of restrictions. This is what has been reinstated by the Supreme Court. Clear? So you need to be aware. For sure, there would be some question related to the freedom of speech and expression this year. Broadly, they will ask, because so many articles in the last month we have discussed so many articles related to the freedom of speech and expression. Something related to that will come in the exam. Now, see, science and technology also, they are asking many questions. So far, we have discussed about the AI in the last few days. We have also we have discussed so many articles about role of AI in the health, role of AI in the medicine. Then what else we have discussed? Yesterday also we have discussed about this biotechnology. Like we have discussed about this. What is this? Yesterday we have discussed about the CAR T-cell technology. Yeah. So we are discussing various things in the science and technology, and quantum technology is one such important area, again making lot of news. We have also discussed AI mission as well. Okay, so much research is going on. So that's why there is very high possibility you may get question in the mains on these areas. We are trying to develop the quantum computers. The traditional computers will operate on the traditional bits, binary numbers. Your computers will take the information based on 1, 0. When you are writing the coding language also, only you are aware that only they take either 1 or 0. This is the binary information that is taken by the computer in order to function. Using this binary information only various processes will run. Now, quantum computers means you work on the quantum level, means you will work at the very smaller scale. Quantum technologies. Here you will not use the binary numbers 1, 0. Here you will use the qubits. In the binary, when you use a binary thing, traditional bits, only 1 or 0 can be used. Here, when you use the qubits concept in the quantum computers, you can use 1 and 0 at a time. For suppose if it is I am using only 1 or 0, I will get only limited combination 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so like this 1, 1. These are the only combinations. But when you can use both the 0 and the 1 simultaneously, there can be multiple combinations. Okay, with this, the processing capacity of the computers will be greatly enhanced. Currently, these are at the research level. We have not yet developed. So here we are trying to develop the quantum computers which operate on the qubits. The traditional bits will have only 1 or 0. Qubits can use 1 and 0 simultaneously. And these 1 and 0, they operate based on the principle of the entanglement. Principle of entanglement means, see here I have given you what is qubits. A qubit is a basic unit of information in the quantum computing. It is analogous to the classical bit but operates under the principles of the quantum mechanics. Now what are those principles of the quantum mechanics? By mistake it has come on the top. Okay, this should be there. See here the principle of superimposition and the principle of entanglement. This is what I said. Superimposition means usually either you can see now I'm tossing a coin, either you can get head or you can get the tail. Now I have tossed a coin, you are able to see both head and tail. Okay, though it is theoretical, that is going to happen. So you can get the numerous possibilities. So yeah, it is like I am both turning on the fan and turning off the fan. Okay, so that is like this. Simply traditional computers means on and off. I make it off, lights are gone. I turned off the switch, lights are gone. I turned on the switch, lights are on. Now here it is a kind of state where there can be both on and off. So you are using 1 and 0 together. Previously I can use either 1 or 0. Now you can use together. That is called the principle of the superimposition. A quantum system can exist in the multiple states simultaneously. Multiple states. So principle of superimposition. For example, a qubit can be in the state of 0, 1, both 0 and 1 at the same time. How exactly in depth we do not know. Okay, just basic fundamental thing we need to understand. So it operates on the concepts of the quantum technology. Quantum technology means there are qubits. They work on the principles of the superimposition and entanglement. Sometimes these qubits are entangled. If I change this 0 at somewhere here, okay, the 1 which is located at some other plates can also be changed. Means these bits are sometimes they can get entangled. For suppose you can understand this way how this thing can be used. Now for suppose if I have sent a message to one person, banking related information. If some person is trying to hack that thing, okay, if they have to hack it, okay, so automatically my other system will also change. Okay, whatever some person is trying to interrupt your system here. Okay, so automatically somewhere something, okay, whatever the code that I have kept in some other place, everything will change. The person will not be able to lock it. So it's like we are going to get a very secure communication. It becomes very difficult because of this kind of entanglement. So DRDO has recently done, along with this IIT, some kind of research in this quantum communication, and they have come up with the kind of encryption technologies. So with this, using this quantum technologies, our communications will be very secure. Do not think the communication like generally WhatsApp messages, okay, these things. Okay, in our India, like say when we talk about the national scale, so we need very right information. Okay, there should not be any kind of data lost or theft. There should be data integrity. What if some kind of terrorists get access to our information, or Pakistan gets access to our information? So in this way, this quantum computing can be very, very helpful. So for this only, we have launched a national quantum mission as well. We have allotted some 6,000 crores for this quantum mission till 2031, but the article says the project is not moving forward. It has been affected by the bureaucratic delays. So it has to be pushed forward. This is what the article says. Clear? So if I ask you what is the quantum computers, then you will say quantum computers are not the regular computers, unconventional computers, works on the quantum technologies. Means you will go at the lowest scale. Currently, all those things works based on the atoms. When we excite the atoms, electrons will move from one level to the another level. So like this, you will generate the bits and all. Here, from the atom to the subatomic particles, then you will get the qubits. So your computers will work based on the qubits. And there are two important principles here. Principle of the superimposition and the principle of entanglement. Principle of superimposition means there can be two states together. Okay, there can be on and off together. Okay, 1 and 0 together. Previously in the traditional bits, either you can send information 1 and 0. Your computers understand only 1 or 0 language. So you are sending 1, 0, 1, 0 like this. Here you can say both 1 and 0 together. So in this you will be able to send a lot of information. You can process things a lot. And then entanglement. These qubits are entangled to one another. If I try to change at one place, something I am trying to open the lock, some other place it gets locked. You can understand it that way. If I am changing it here, somewhere, okay, distance and thousands of hundreds of kilometers, it will be get changed. So I will be able to easily identify something is happening. Okay, so these are the two principles, principle of superimposition and principle of entanglement. Why is this in the news? Because DRDO has conducted experimentation for this quantum cryptography. What is the government is doing? Quantum mission, 6,000 crore project till 2031. But funds are not moving forward. This is the criticism. Bureaucratic delays. Clear? Very, very important. Same way the question might come. Discuss about the quantum technologies, quantum computers. What are we doing here? Okay. Very important for this year mains. So I have given it here. Everything. Traditional bits, quantum technology, all those things I have given. Now Bandar Abbas port. Okay. People are getting scared that especially our exporters, they export things using this Bandar Abbas port. We are developing this Chabahar port in the Iran. Now Iran is going through war. Israel is continuously attacking this thing. So the people who are exporting items to the Iran, they export it through the Bandar Abbas port. It is being said this Bandar Abbas port might get closed because of the huge amount of attacks that is going on. For us, why it is important? So they may ask locations of these ports in the prelims. And this is the Strait of Hormuz that I was talking about. The energy, whatever the oil that we import or natural gas we import from the Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, all these things flows through this Gulf of Persia, and this is known as Strait of Hormuz. Strait means that narrow water body connecting the two bigger water bodies, Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. So they will ask you a question, Strait of Hormuz connects what are the two Gulfs? Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. Very, very important in the prelims. So see here, Bandar Abbas port is so close to the Chabahar. In the Pakistan, which port they have? What is the port in the Pakistan? You must not forget. Gwadar port. Okay. So as a counter to Gwadar port, we have developed this Chabahar port. Now this is where we are going to struggle because Chabahar port might also get affected because of the war that is happening in the Iran. This might get closed, and currently we are struggling about the Bandar Abbas port. This is also another port in the Iran area. Very important for us. Mule account. What are these mule accounts? Mule account means fake bank accounts. If you guys have seen this recent movie, what is this? Kubera. Okay, that movie was based on this thing. Okay, I don't want to reveal the story online. Okay, but something related to money laundering and all. So what happens here is they are opening the fake bank accounts in order to transfer the black money. Okay. So basically that person, it is not that person's bank account. It might be not their person's bank account. Maybe some kind of fake accounts are being created and new bank accounts are being opened to do the money laundering and all. So you need to know mule accounts. Mule accounts are the bank accounts used to launder money or divert illicit funds without the account holder's knowledge. I have opened name in her account, okay, in her bank account, but she is not at all aware. Okay, I have opened account, bank account in her name. There might be crores of money in her account name. Okay, I'll ask her just to have one, give me one sign. Okay, using that sign, have opened the account. Using her sign, maybe she might not be aware much about banking things and all. So I'm running these accounts. So I'm parking the money, all the illicit money in her account. These are called the mule accounts. So in order to identify these things, recently RBI has also launched an AI tool, that is the mule hunter. Now this thing also I'll use the role of AI in the governance. We have already discussed role of AI in the governance in one of the sessions, where AI is used to spray the fertilizers, spray the pesticides. For the also we have also seen in the various communications and all, we have seen these things in the health related these things. Now this is a point also that you need to remember. So that's why I have taken the concept of the mule. Okay, this was given in the Indian Express. Clear what is this mule account is? RBI has taken various measures to handle this mule account. One of the most important measure is mule hunter. So this AI tool will provide the RBI information regarding this fake accounts, mule accounts, mule hunter AI. Apart from this, it is also RBI is also trying to cooperate with this financial intelligence units, enforcement directorate to identify such a kind of mule accounts which are participating in the money laundering things. So this is another important point that you guys have to understand. I think he has opened again same thing, no? Okay. Core sector growth. So first, what is the context? The output growth of the India's 8 core infrastructure industries fell to 9-month low of 0.7% in the May, down from the revised 1% in the April. It is growing, but the output has fell down. It is growing only by 0.7%. The growth is very slow. Now what, in which area they are talking about the growth? These are the core industries. Like I have said previously, we calculate growth of the industries using index of industrial production. What is the growth rate that is happening in the industries? Within the industries, there are certain industries which are considered to be a core industries. What are those core industries? These are the 8 core industries which we have. See here, these are the 8 core industries. These are the weightage that are given to the 8 core industries. You must by heart these 8 industries which are considered to be core, because out of total industrial output, 40% is always contributed by this thing. So that's why they are considered as a core industry. So if these core industries are growing, we can consider the industrial sector is growing. If they are not growing, we can consider the industrial sector is not growing well. Within your entire index of industrial production, these contributes to 40%. And individually, we have assigned the weights. The highest weightage has been assigned to the refinery products, next to the electricity. So electricity is an industry, okay, steel industry, coal industry, least to the fertilizers. See here, these selectors collectively contribute the 40% of the overall index of industrial production. Who releases the index of industrial production? We have discussed this thing. IIP index. Who releases it? CSO, Central Statistical Organization, which is present under the Ministry of Statistics. But this index, core industries performance index, it is released by the Ministry of Commerce. There it is by the Ministry of Statistics, and this is by the Ministry of Commerce. Every month, both of them are released, and we will check the progress. Are we clear? Next time when this thing comes in the news, you should not be confused. Same Central Statistical Organization under the Ministry of the Statistics releases the growth GDP of India, growth rate of India. For calculating the GDP or growth rate, we will consider all the three sectors. What are the three prime sectors we have? Agriculture, industrial sector, service sector. Within the industrial sector, these are the core sectors. So we need to check all the three sectors: agriculture sector, industrial sector and the service sector. They all three together gives us what is the final value. Within this index of industrial production, we also have some industries as a core industries. These core industries are released by the Ministry of the Commerce. All three together, all three sectors together, data was released by another organization called Central Statistical Organization, which is under the Ministry of Statistics. It is very, very important to also remember the weightage. Now, this is the thing HL we have already discussed. Another important thing. Okay, you will get it in the PDF document, do not worry. So, they are here, UK lawmakers approves a bill to allow terminally ill people to end their lives. Understand? So, this is the concept of euthanasia. So, there can be a scenarios where the people will struggle to continue their life. There can be a state of vegetative states, means you can think of paralysis. I think this is there in the Shankar Dada movie, okay, where the person, his brain is dead, okay, so the person is not at all moving, okay. Sometimes brain is not dead, or they are in a kind of state where there is no movement, okay, the person is going through a kind of torture. Now, in that case, to end their lives, something can be done. For suppose, in most of the cases, when the person is terminally ill, that means in a vegetative state, they are only alive because you are providing them some kind of medical support. Maybe if you remove that medical support, whatever the things that you are providing, the person will die. The person is almost, it's like vegetative state, not performing for anything, and there is no hope that person will come back to the life. But you are extending his life, hoping that he will come back. Now, in that case, the person might go through lot of torture. So, in such cases, what should be done? Should the life support be withdrawn? Should he be provided with some kind of poison so that he die peacefully without going through the pain? This is a kind of argument. Many people has filed a case so that they go for this kind of killing, which we called as a euthanasia. Euthanasia means you are trying to remove the support, life support for the people who are going through this vegetative state. You will get these things in the notes. It is not being shown here. Do not worry. This is euthanasia. This can be active as well as a passive. Okay. So, what is euthanasia? Basically, you are supporting some person to end their lives. Usually it is wrong, right? But the person is going through some kind of horrible medical condition, terminally ill. They no more can come to the life. So, there is also, I think, there is one Hrithik Roshan's movie, if you guys have gone through, okay, the person in that movie, the role is played by the Hrithik Roshan, where only his head will move and he is completely restricted to the wheelchair. So, he is fighting, in that movie, he fights for that legal battle for this active euthanasia. There, not Krish, okay, in the Krish, he is a superhero. I am talking about a situation where, there the Vivek Oberoi has that kind of scenario, but here the movie, in this movie, Hrithik Roshan is restricted to the wheelchair. I think Guzarish or something, I do not know. Okay, maybe I forgot the name. That is also Upiri movie, Nagarjuna's movie also, the same state. Okay, but here the person, the main character is not willing to die. What if the person is willing to die? Now that is if the person has to be killed, okay, because the person is going through some kind of torture, some kind of injections has to be passed. That is called actively you are killing some person. This is called active euthanasia. If a person is some kind of coma or anything, they are completely brain dead. Now if you just withdraw the medical support, then the person will die. Now you are not actively killing. You are just withdrawing the support. So this is called the passive euthanasia. Both of them are very challenging thing. Now the person want to kill someone intentionally, so they can kill, they can harm, and they can say this is euthanasia. That can be one possibility, right? So in India kind of country, okay, so these kind of things, if they are legalized, so many kind of murders can happen. So it has to be very careful. Or some person might got into depression and they may call for the active euthanasia, kill me. These things also can happen. We don't want to live. Okay, so these scenarios might come up. So that's why globally also passive euthanasia is allowed in many countries when there is when there is a kind of no recovery. And that also when there is written document, which we called as a advance directive. Advance directive. Important keyword. So I have written and given a consent. For suppose I am going through any kind of surgery, I am going through some kind of medical illness. There can be possibility that I might get paralyzed or I may go through certain situation. There is a possibility that I might get so ill. Then before itself I have written this advance directive that if in case that happens, okay, remove the medical support. This will be checked by some of the doctors and then finally decision will be taken if I reach it to that stage. If I am in a state where I cannot give the advance directive, then whoever the person, whoever is representing me, they can go and file a this thing directive. Okay, then there will be a team. Then they will finally approve. This is the scenario in the India. Okay, so in the UK also they have adopted this kind of passive euthanasia. No, active euthanasia they have. Okay, whoever is terminally ill, for them they are going to allow to end the life. This thing. Okay, so these are the things that you need to understand. In India, now we have this one, passive euthanasia. Only when there is advance directive or when any person who is supporting that advance directive, that can be done. Previously, it was not the case. After the famous Aruna Shanbok case, I should say infamous case, unfortunate case. She was raped and she was left in a vegetative state for so many years. She was in a very worse condition. Okay, she has to be fed. Okay, she was going through some kind of very difficult state. So some of her supporters, okay, filed petition so that she be allowed for this euthanasia. She was being provided the like say ventilator support. So that should be withdrawn so that she die in a respectful manner. That is also very important. You die in a respectful manner. So finally, court has given a judgment. Then after that Aruna Shanbok case, we are now currently allowing the passive euthanasia in India. Active euthanasia is not allowed. Even in the passive euthanasia case, either there has to be advance directive or it has to be approved by the medical board. In that case, when medical board says, okay, the person cannot come back to the life, the person's brain is dead or anything based on what the decision they have taken, then finally passive euthanasia will be provided. Active euthanasia is not allowed. Okay, so is this clear? It is like suicide but assisted by someone because the same person is not able to commit the suicide. He is in such a helpless state. Some other person is assisting the suicide. So active means directly assisting. Passive means you are just withdrawing the life support for him. That's it. Very simple. So in India, suicide is a criminal act or not? Previously, there used to be IPC section 309. If you commit suicide, you will be punished in the jail. If you try to commit suicide, if you die, that is fine. If you get caught, you will be put in the jail. Okay? because as per the section 309, it is a criminal act. Then someone they filed case in the court, and court said already the person is going through some kind of mental harassment, mental damage. Now punishing him, it is a kind of double punishment. Okay, so the section 309 was struck down after the Mental Health Act. Okay, new act was passed for the mental health care, which is being provided to you in the notes. Okay, now it is not a kind of criminal act. Okay, it has been struck down. These are the Aruna Shanbok case and the Mental Health Act that you need to know. Suicide is not a criminal act, and in India we have the passive euthanasia. Very, very important concept, and this thing has potential to be asked in the GS2 governance section as well as in your GS4 ethics. Someone, okay, now you have to go through, you have to take a call regarding the passive euthanasia. What will you do? First, you will search for the advanced directive. What is the person might be thinking? What was the person going through? Then, based on that advanced directive, if it is not, if you are a medical board, will take the advice and then you will take a call. Okay, so it is not a easy decision. You can imagine if the person is going for the active euthanasia. If say I am the one who is struggling, if doctor has to give me suicide thing, active euthanasia. So the doctor will go through a lot of stress because he is killing person. So it is very, very difficult for everyone involved. Yes, that's what I think they have passed the bill. It is only passed in one of the house. It will be passed. So that's what is there. Okay, only very few states have the active euthanasia. Most of the states have the passive euthanasia. I need to check exactly it is active or anything. I'll check and I'll confirm again. Okay, and only few states they have the active euthanasia allowed. Okay, once let me check the provision whether they are talking about the active or the passive one. As far as I have known, okay, it is active. We'll check and confirm again. Clear? This is about the thing they are talking about. That's it. So these are the articles for today. See here, this is the terminally ill adults bill, colloquially known as assisted dying bill. So when we say assisted dying bill, most probably it is you are providing the assistance. Then it becomes the active euthanasia. Will only apply to the people in the England and Wales who have less than 6 months to live. A patient choosing to die would need to be of competent mind, and 2 doctors, a psychiatrist, senior lawyer and social worker would need to sign off the decision. Again, it is not, he is not alone. One to take the decision. Okay, the decision has to be approved by this thing. No, I do not know how the psychiatrist will approve. They'll say anyway you are going through low, be positive, be mentally think. If they say, I do not know how these things will work. Okay. See here, Dave Sowry, whose terminally ill wife had ended her life with the help of Dignitas, a Swiss assisted dying non-profit organization, heaved a sigh of relief as he heard the bill had passed during a televised interview with the BBC. So this is okay. Labour Party Vicky said she was not opposed to the principle of assisted dying, but would not support the bill until the vast majority of the disabled people backed it. Now this can also happen. One kind of criticism is, this can be easy solution. If the person, you are killing the person, what if in the tomorrow some kind of research happens and the person can get cured? Okay, you are killing that person and sometimes some research might happen. So we should focus on the palliative care, preventive care. Palliative care means medicines, drugs. You have to focus on the preventive care, developing the vaccines and all. So your focus should be on these things in the long term. These are the very short term solutions. So that's why some of the people will oppose it. It is a kind of act of God or something. You are trying to kill the person. It is not taking away life is not the right thing. Even in the Indian philosophy they say, right, you cannot take away the life. Okay, that is another important thing that you have to talk about. And last but not least, so June 21st, International Yoga Day. Today is the International Yoga Day. We India celebrates International Yoga Day, and we are the one who has proposed to highlight this June 21 as a International Yoga Day. This is not just for the physical well-being. When we talk about the yoga, we are also talking about the mental well-being. So this is the most important aspect, not just the physical health, but also the mental health. Okay, and this also highlights the India's soft power. Soft power means anything without using any kind of arms, defense. So you are able to make any kind of changes in some other person, some other people. Means you are promoting something, your Indian culture. This is the soft power. Another example of India's soft power is Bollywood movies, Bollywood songs. Now using these things, you can influence the foreign policy or influence the minds of the foreigners. So that power is called the soft power. For suppose you are my friend, okay? So I am not beating you. I am saying if you do this. So somehow because of either liking or credibility or something else, not the physical threat, you are doing that act. That is called the soft power. Is it clear? So India is developing soft power. Yoga is one such soft power. So with the yoga getting strengthened, it enhances the India's credibility. So we can influence the foreign policy using the soft power as well. Okay, this is another important point. Okay, that is the point. So last article for today that we have to discuss is about the pulses. Very important. See, India's import dependence on the pulses and vegetables is growing a lot. Very, very high. Okay. So import doubling from 7.9 million to the 16.4 million tons in the 2024 and 2025. Government has taken various steps, yet the imports are increasing. They have already asked so many times the question on the vegetable oils as well as the pulses. We are the largest producer of the pulses, yet we import largest amount of the pulses. Same is true with the vegetable oils. Okay, because the demand for the vegetable oils is rising. See here, vegetable oils, unlike pulses, the important dependence of the vegetable oils is over 60%. Huge. Vegetable oils means your soybean oil, palm oil, sunflower oil, all these things. Primarily we import these things from, where do we import? The soybean oil primarily imported from the Argentina, Brazil and the United States. Sunflower oil from the Ukraine and the Russia. Palm oil from the Indonesia and the Malaysia. So that's why we have also seen recently we are trying to develop national palm oil mission. We have seen this thing, Telangana, Karnataka, these are the states which produce the palm oil in the south. We are also developing the palm oil production in the northeast and the Andaman. We have seen this article few days back because 60% of the vegetable oils we are importing them. But I have said this is not the environment friendly. Vegetable oils also require a lot of water. When you have to grow the vegetable oils in India, that is not environment friendly in India. This is one aspect related to the vegetable oils. Now when we talk about the pulses, dal, my favorite, everyone's favorite. Okay, these are very, very important for the nutrition. India is primarily vegetarian country. Though the people eat the non-veg, every day, most of the times in most of the houses, there is a dal, pulses, right? Okay, that's why we are the largest consumer. 27% of the world's consumption happens in India. And we are also the largest producer. Yet, to meet the needs, we have to import. These are also very environment friendly. When you go for this pulses production, after they dry, they add nutrition to the soil. And they don't need a lot of oil also, a lot of water also. Most of the India is a semi-arid region. That's why they have the very huge economic importance, geographical advantage and environment friendly also. And definitely, like I have said, the nutritional importance is also very huge. If you eat properly every day 50 to 100 grams of pulses, you will get a lot of protein, a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of B vitamins. Okay, when that also has a non-heme iron, non-animal source of iron. This will also resolve the anemia problem of the woman. So nutritional security, economic security, geographical advantage, all these things are very important for us. But somehow we are importing a lot of pulses. So we have to handle this thing. We have 3 types of the season for growing the crops of pulses. Question has been already asked on this thing. It is very important for you to know. See here, Kharif season. Sown with the onset of the monsoon during the June and July and harvested in the September and October. When you go for the sowing in this time period, then it is called a Kharif crop. And what kind of pulses? You have to buy hard this thing. Arhar, Urd, Moong, Lobia, Kulti, horse gram and the moth. If it is Rabi, it is gram, lentil, pea and the rajmash. If it is Zaid, green gram, black gram and the cowpea. You have to buy hard because they have asked in the prelims once which one is the Rabi crop and which one is the Kharif crop. They have asked this thing. And which is the largest state that produces the pulses? That is the Madhya Pradesh. I have discussed these are the nutritional importance, agriculture benefits and the economic role. But challenge is we are not able to produce them. We are not able to cultivate more amount of the pulses. So government is taking various steps. So all these initiatives, you should have the fair idea. See here, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, focus on the irrigation. When you improve the irrigation, your cropping pattern will improve, your production will improve. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana provides crop insurance. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Vikas Yojana, Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana. It is promoting the organic farming and also soil health cards. Apart from this, you also have some specific initiatives. Okay, let me talk about those specific initiatives. Under this PM Asha scheme, okay, you have price support scheme. Under this price support scheme, government procures oil seeds, pulses and the copra. 3 crops. Just like MSP, we have discussed MSP, minimum supporting price, where government provides minimum supporting price by procuring those things. In the same way, government will procure copra, oil seeds and the pulses, and they provide the minimum guarantee to the farmers. So with this, production of the pulses will increase. So that is one of the important initiative, price support scheme. This comes under the another major scheme called the PM Asha scheme. Okay, I have given what is the PM Asha scheme, please go through. Apart from this, we are also developing the National Food Security Mission, implemented in the 28 states, where we are talking about the increasing the production of the food grains, including the pulses, through the area expansion, productivity enhancement and the resource use efficiency. Then we are also going through the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. This is a centrally sponsored scheme where incentives are provided to the states, flexibility are provided to the states, funds are provided to the states. States will be implementing the scheme to enhance the production of the pulses. Central government will provide money and some kind of flexibility. States can take their own measures. So these are the important crop diversification program, National Food Security Mission and the PM Asha scheme. Very important. Same way mains question may be asked. Cropping pattern of the pulses, significance of the pulses, challenges, government measures. These are the things that we have discussed. Even in the prelims, they can ask on the same lines. We have covered entire topic of the pulses. These are highly suitable for the India's production. You have to properly read, study, revise topic of the pulses as well as the vegetable oils that have provided in the PDF. Very important. And then same level of importance has to be given to this euthanasia concept that we have discussed today. Very important, highly 2 important topics that we have discussed today. Study well. That's all for today. I hope you are enjoying the sessions. Thank you. Bye-bye.